Hey, welcome to Live with Lynn. So if you're here, say hi. If you're watching the replay, be sure to type replay so I know you were here. I'm Lynn Huber, and I appreciate you being here today. So today I'm going to talk about success is going to take longer than you think. So you have big goals, right? You have large visions for your life. I mean, any major success you want to obtain is probably going to take a lot longer than you anticipated when you first started the journey. And that's okay because it's just what it is. It is what it is, right? But we want it now, right? Well, we get a good idea about something. We want it to be, we want to be, do, and have all of these things, right? And that idea that we get, it captures our minds and our emotions. And then we enter that honeymoon phase. And that honeymoon phase is awesome. I mean, we're daydreaming, we're brainstorming about our new exciting idea and the world of possibility that'll open up once we reach that goal. And we're energized and we're ready to take on the world. And if you're new to this game, I'm sorry to tell you, but you have a mountain ahead of you. You really do. Hi, Anitra. Hi, Erin. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here, you guys. So if you're new to this game, I'm sorry, but it's true. You do. You have a mountain ahead of you, right? No one has ever successfully scaled a mountain quickly and easily. I mean, sure, from a distance, you're looking at the mountain and it might not look that big, right? I mean, it looks fairly smooth, like a fairly smooth terrain, and it looks manageable. And, when you're looking at that mountain from a few miles away, it doesn't look like any big deal. So you excitedly sprint to your starting point, and that's when the work begins. And within a short period of time, reality starts to sink in at the difficulty and the struggle that's ahead of you. And it doesn't matter what the goal or the dream is that you're working towards. I mean, I'm in Avon, right? And looking for a successful Avon business to replace your income? Sure. If you're just looking for a little extra money to get your Avon paid for, that's easy. That's pretty easy, right? But if you want a successful Avon business that will replace your income, it's going to be hard and you're going to run into some challenges. So let me tell you about my story a little bit. I've been with Avon 19 years. And at one point, I was 13 people away from the very, very top level of the Avon leadership, which was at the time senior executive unit leader. I was so close. I bit the bullet to pay for a little kiosk in the mall for half of October, all of November and December, and part of January. I mean, I put a lot of money into that. Trust me, mall rent is not cheap. But I figured I would achieve the title in October and solidify it in the other months. And we were recruiting. We actually had been recruiting in the mall one weekend a month. We paid for this little kiosk for one weekend. And I worked with my team, and we were signing up 20 to 30 people in a weekend, as new representatives. So I really figured that I would achieve that title in October and then solidify it in the other months. But the minute I paid for that kiosk, all of a sudden, nobody would talk to us. Oh my gosh, it was like the weirdest thing. It was like this light just turned off. Nobody would talk to us. We couldn't sign up a new representative to save our life. So this was 2008. And what I didn't know at the time was that the economy had just dumped. I mean, talk about timing, right? It had just crashed, right? And then one of my top leaders, who was the one I was working with most closely to get her promoted so that I could promote, just disappeared off the face of the earth. I mean, oh my gosh, she wouldn't return any of my calls, emails, nothing. I mean, I don't know what happened, and her whole team disintegrated under her. One thing about our team is that relationship is usually with the person who signed them up. And so it was really hard for me to keep them because it just sort of disintegrated under her with her gone. And it was years later before I finally learned that she had been convicted of a crime and was in jail, right? I mean, I had no idea, right? But we all have these challenges and obstacles. What if what you're working for is to open a restaurant or a store or any other kind of business? Oh my gosh, right now in the time of COVID, then you've hit some real bumps in the road if that's what you're working towards, right? But it's the same thing. You're going to run into difficulty and struggle. Maybe it's sports that you're working towards or bodybuilding. One of my Avon coaches, Sandy, is also a bodybuilder, and she's definitely had her share of difficulty and struggle for sure. So most people don't make it far enough up the mountain to be invested in the journey. They quit early enough that the pain of investment isn't harsh enough. So Anitra says, direct sales is not easy if you're not willing to do the work. Yes, exactly. You have to be willing to do the work. And, most people, they don't make it far enough, right? They quit before that pain of investment isn't harsh enough. The sting of quitting isn't harsh enough. So, if the goal at the summit of your mountain is something that you really want, you have to have enough reasons to get there and enough reasons not to quit. So your first mission becomes the investment phase, right? You have to put in enough blood, sweat, and tears so that you reach a point where quitting would be more painful than continuing. You get in, you're 100% invested. You get in and you're working it, and you really do. You come to a point where you have put so much into it that quitting now would be crazy, right? And once you reach that point, you gain a whole new perspective on life. The struggle doesn't go away. It never does. I mean, we're always going to have challenges, but it takes on a new form. So you're going to find sort of a peace, a sense of knowing during your struggle. You'll know that you're going to make it. You just don't know how long it's going to take to get there, right? You just know, I'm working on this. I'm going to get there no matter what, but you just might not know how long exactly it will take, right? But then it almost doesn't matter because you're no longer focused on the cost. You're no longer worried about what it's costing you, what you're having to put into it. Now you're focused purely on the journey. Now you're focused purely on what is the next step? What is the next step? What do I have to do to get there, right? And you've got that laser focus on your journey and on the what you're aiming for up there, right? And this is true for everything. I mean, this is an easy metaphor to understand, but it applies to anything in life, right? It's just how things are. It's just the way it is. And if you're willing to go through the struggle, you can accomplish anything you want. Anything. Seriously, right? Make it a point to first be the kind of person who dreams and has big visions and gives yourself permission to set major goals. Be that person. And then make certain you stay with it long enough that turning around is no longer an option. But keep in mind, it very likely is going to take you far longer than you think to reach your goal, right? It is. It's going to take work. It's going to take effort. But trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's going to take you longer, but it doesn't matter because you're invested and you're going for it. And however long it takes, you're going to get there, right? And again, it's worth it. So, hey, now I'd love to hear from you. How about you? What are your thoughts? What kinds of challenges have you overcome and how have you handled it? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your stories. And I want to thank Erin and Anitra for being live with me today, and anyone else who might be live who just hasn't commented, and anyone who's watching the replay. Thank you. I appreciate you. So go out there, have an amazing day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.